Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio on the Rocks from the DigiComm Cafe. I'm your host, Denny Jay, and today we're rewinding the clock to explore a fascinating journey, the history of ham radio. Whether you're an old hand at the mic or just a tech enthusiast with a curiosity for radio waves, this story has something for everyone. Let's turn back the dial to the late 1800s. The roots of ham radio go back to when visionaries like Guglielmo Marconi first proved that wireless telegraphy was possible. Imagine the world then. No cell phones, no internet. The idea of sending messages through the air without a single wire seemed nothing short of magic. In the early 1900s, that magic called out to countless hobbyists who started tinkering in their attics and basements. Equipped with homemade coils and spark gap transmitters, these early pioneers experimented night after night, eagerly seeking distant voices whispering through static. But as more people took to the airwaves, the United States government realized these unregulated transmissions were causing chaos. In 1912, the Radio Act required all operators, yes, even the hobbyists, to get a license. That's when the term amateur radio really began to stick, setting us apart from commercial broadcasters and government agencies. Fast forward to the 1920s, and amateur radio was exploding in popularity. Imagine families gathered around crystal sets, tuning into strange call signs and voices from across the country and even across the ocean. The world was getting smaller, one QSO at a time. Soon, the International Amateur Radio Union was founded in 1925, uniting hams around the globe and giving our community a true international identity. World War I and II changed everything. During these turbulent years, amateur radio was shut down in many countries. Communications fell under strict military control, but hams didn't vanish. Many became key radio operators, engineers, and even code breakers for the Allies. After the wars, pent-up excitement and surplus military equipment brought hams back on the air, fueling an explosion of innovation. The golden age of ham radio really took off from the 1950s through the 70s. This is when single sideband voice communication became the norm, making our signals clearer and more efficient. Digital modes like RTTY and the first forms of packet radio began to appear. DX contests kept us up late into the night, chasing distant stations from far-off lands. And in 1961, hams launched Oscar 1, the first amateur radio satellite, proving we not only owned the airwaves, but could reach for the stars as well. As computers grew more powerful in the 80s and 90s, ham radio changed again. Digital modes like packet radio, AM Tor, and others let us send text and data across the world. Repeaters brought local operators together, giving our voices more reach. Through hurricanes, floods, and blackouts, hams provided emergency communications when it mattered most, showing the world the difference a dedicated community could make. The 21st century brought even more change. Today, with technologies like Echolink, D-Star, and digital voice modes, you can talk to other operators around the world over radio and the internet. Licensing is more accessible than ever, and ham radio has found ways to blend tradition with cutting-edge innovation. We're experimenting with satellites, mesh networking, remote station operation, you name it. But at its core, amateur radio is still about curiosity, learning, and community, a worldwide family bonded by a passion for wireless communication. Whether you're chasing DX, building antennas in your backyard, or running traffic nets after a storm, you're part of a living tradition that stretches back more than a century. So next time you pick up the mic or tap out a call sign, remember, you're joining a story that began with a handful of dreamers and experimenters, and continues to evolve with every CQ you send. Thanks for tuning in to this trip through ham radio history. I'm Denny Jay, and this is the DigiComm Cafe. Don't forget to join us next time as we explore more stories at the intersection of technology and communication. 73, and see you on the air.